Hello. So I'm going to try and have another waffle about Game Week 24, try and figure out where we're at. First thing I wanted to say, though, was just a quick correction. My last video, just in case anybody watched it, I was talking about this possibility of a Liverpool-Aston Villa double going into 25, possibly Chelsea-Arsenal. And I did make a mistake. I did miss something. A chap on Twitter kindly pointed out that it can go in 37, so I was looking at these fixtures here: Aston Villa versus Liverpool, Tottenham in 34 and 37, and thinking, well, Liverpool and Aston Villa can't be in 33 and 36, and therefore there's pressure to put it in 25. But for some reason, I had a total blind spot of 37. It can go in 37. So basically, just ignore me. I should probably put a blanket statement on all my videos. I talk a lot of crap and I make errors sometimes. So hopefully, anybody watching this knows enough to think for themselves anyway. But hope I didn't lead anybody astray. I did lead myself astray because I didn't get Gakpo in the end. I think, just that sense of wanting more information maybe put me off going for Gakpo in the end. So I didn't go for Gakpo, didn't go for Mbommo. That was going to be my transfers in: Sato and Mbommo, Rao to Gakpo. So I lost about 20 points there, but never mind. So I've got another red arrow. So I've had 4 red arrows in a row, and I'm still doing okay. It's funny how quickly you lose perspective. Like, I'm still ranked 11k, 11.5k. I've had huge amounts of luck, still doing fine, and yet I hate a red arrow, and I really hate 4 red arrows in a row, even if they're little. So I'm kind of questioning myself. It's no big deal. I'm doing fine, but 4 red arrows in a row is they've all had the same theme, which is that I think each one has been me playing quite safe, quite conservatively, cautiously, going for cheap options, strategic options, trying to keep flexibility rather than just chasing the immediate short-term upside. In Game Week 20, I went for Sarr instead of Mbommo. Mbommo had Southampton, he went off, and I just thought Sarr, longer term, better fixtures, cheaper. Didn't work out. Pardon me. In 21, I think it was Salah Cap against Nottingham Forest. Again, I just went for the EO, went for safety, and Palmer and Isaac went off. There was also Rauta Mateta I was thinking of doing at some point. I missed out on a load of Mateta's points. And then last game week, it was obviously Gakpo and Bomo. And I stuck. I just wanted that information, a little bit of more flexibility. So now you could conclude from that I should just start playing more aggressively. But the problem is, I can point to a lot of times in history when I've been chasing and that's backfired, and I should have just stayed safe. Like, I think I remember last season, I transferred Pascal Gross to De Bruyne. De Bruyne had a double game week, and I thought, come on, let's just go for it. I might have even taken a hit for it, and it totally backfired. And Gross outscored De Bruyne by quite a lot over less games. De Bruyne was really disappointing, and there's lots of times when it doesn't pay off, and sometimes, in fact, my instinct often is that the sensible pick usually is the one to pay off. They just stay safe, don't do anything, just be patient. So it swings around about. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And I think the answer to that is that you should hunch it. You should use your intuitions, trust your intuitions. Sometimes playing sensible is the play, sometimes chasing is the play. And there's going to be variance. You've got to accept that you're going to win some and you're going to lose some. And just let each loss and victory teach your intuitions. Your intuitions grow after every experience. So yeah, I need to kind of go careful with that, not to kind of react by just going really chasey. But so that's where I'm at. But my moves for next game week then, I'm already thinking a little bit chasey though, because I've already done Sato and Bomo, and I may regret that, but I'll talk about that in a minute. It may have been too soon, but I've done Sato and Bomo, and I'm thinking I could do Wood to Gakpo. I could do Wood to Gakpo, Rao to Wissa. This is kind of what's on my mind. And then I'd need an enabler, and I'd do Lewis down to some fodder at the moment. I don't know, John O'Shea, Dara O'Shea, or whatever his name is. Something like that. And I could get Wissa in. Probably bench Rodgers. something like that. That's 4 free transfers. But do I want to do that? Probably going to triple captain Salah. Probably not going to use the assistant manager. So that's what I'm thinking. But then I'm not 100% sure about that because I'm using a lot of transfers there, and I kind of feel like I want to save transfers, especially for next game week when we're going to find out who's actually blanking in 29, and we're going to find out a nice bit of information about whether we're going to have to free hit or dead end and wild card. Be a shame to have no transfers for that. I've been thinking a few other things. Gakpo, is he definitely nailed? I think he is. Am I going to want him for the long term, right up until 33 potentially? Maybe. I'm starting to like Gakpo, but when Jota comes back as well, and Darwin and Diaz, how many minutes will he actually get in the long term? I don't really want to have to transfer him back out again. Again, it's the same process I'm going through where I look at all these juicy little short term picks and then I start thinking about the long term and it puts me off them. But I don't know. So Gakpo, I need to have a think about, and Wissa. The problem with Wissa again is he is a short term pick. He's got these lovely run of 4 here. Not bad for 28 and 29. You can keep him, but then the other side of 29, you're not going to want him. Now, again, that's maybe short sighted, but I am starting to wonder whether I should prioritise players who I'm going to want for the whole way, potentially right up to 33. Even if a wild card in 30, it would be nice to get a player in now so that I'll get the price. I'll benefit from the added value, especially if I want a bench boost in 33, which is a possibility. So I'm thinking little things like this, and I need to I'm going to talk about it. So I want to talk in this video. I guess I want to talk about triple captain, assistant manager, chip strategy, thinking about wildcard 30. What's it going to look like when we get to game week 30? And because things like selling Wood and selling Gordon, I've got a lot of value in these players, and it's this feeling of like, is it worth it? And if I'm going to want them back again, and especially if I've got a bench boost on the horizon and value is going to be important, is it worth selling some of these players? And like Gordon to Mbomo, a lot of people are doing like that. That might be a short-sighted move because Gordon, he's only got like this little run. Fulham at home's all right. Then this little short run here of Man City, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool's tough. But then you're probably going to want him back afterwards. I suppose he's got a blank in 29, so maybe not, unless you free hit or bench him. But then this run here, you'll probably want him. He's got a good chance of a double in 33 at the moment. So it's, whereas Mbomo, again, he's the opposite. He's got a nice little run here, but then you're probably not going to want him long term. I think he could be a sell. When we get to wildcard 30, he's got a very low chance of having a double in 33. And if people are going to start building towards this, I think Mbomo could be one that people get rid of, even though he's great. That's a tough run. We're going to be wanting to cram doublers into our teams. He's the type that you might sacrifice. I can see Palmer going as well, except not until maybe 33. Because Palmer you'll probably want to keep, and then because he's so much money, if he doesn't get a double in 33. So anyway, I'm waffling. So, yeah, thinking things like this. Do I really want to? Who do I want to sell? Trying to think long term a little bit again. But maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just take hits. If I was more willing to take hits, just get Wissa in, get the points, take a hit if you need to. Maybe. Triple captain. I'm going to triple captain Salah most likely. Assistant manager. I just think there's probably going to be better assistant manager chances later on in the season. Whereas there's no guarantee there'll be better triple captain choices later in the season. There might. So one thing that's maybe good to note, when I was waffling last game week about this Liverpool Aston Villa double, it wasn't total wasted information because basically it is true that Tottenham play Aston Villa and Liverpool in 34 and 37, which means that so long as Tottenham, a lot of this I think really does hinge on Tottenham and Man United and how far they progress in the Europa. And at the moment, they're both like favourites, Tottenham and Man United. I don't know who's making this up, and maybe it's wrong, but that's what Odds Checker has it as. They're like the favourites. So there's a very good chance they're going to get to the quarterfinals, apparently. And if they do, then there's a whole different landscape that's going to happen. And basically, if they get to the quarterfinals, I think again I could be making errors here, but I think Aston Villa and Liverpool they're going to have to leave those slots free for um, Tottenham and Liverpool. If that becomes a blank, that will have to be a Tottenham Liverpool would have to go there, and Tottenham Aston Villa would have to go there if they were to become blanks. I think they'll have to leave them free, which means that won't be for Liverpool. That won't be a Leicester away, Aston Villa away double. That would be a Leicester away, Tottenham at home double, which might be arguably better. Although it depends if Tottenham have got to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, maybe they're improving. Maybe that's a better fixture by that point with their defence back and that. But so yeah, but that's basically triple captain alternatives. I think Liverpool got a pretty good chance of doubling in 33 right now. They've already got a very good chance of a blank here against Aston Villa. That's 30% as in 30% that it goes ahead, 70% that it doesn't go ahead. So very good chance for a blank there. And then they're also in the FA Cup semi-finals. It's them or Tottenham. Only needs one of those two teams to get to the semi-final for that to be a blank too. And they've got, because it's, Tottenham's involved, there's going to be this pressure to put it into 33 rather than 36 potentially if Tottenham are in the Europa. So I just think Liverpool has a very good chance of going to get double in 33. But then will Salah still be fit by that point? That's a bit of a risk. Probably. But you got to add another 10% chunk off of that he might get. He might not be fit. But I don't know. If people wanted to try that, they could. What's the best way to look at this? They could triple captain Salah in 33 instead. And then, but if you're going to do that, then that means you've got to use the assistant manager now. And using the assistant manager now, it's not too bad. So I've cooked these bad boys up. I've looked at the predicted points for 24, 25, 26. And for game week 24, it's a double game week. But then compared to other double game weeks you're going to get, I don't know whether these are great. I mean, I don't know. You got Liverpool versus Bournemouth away and then Everton away, two safe fixtures. Not great odds. You want 70% plus odds if you're going to go for a safe game. 55 is not great. 67 is better, but still tough. And for Moyes as a table bonus, you want that one won't be a safe game. I mean, the odds of Everton beating Leicester is actually higher than Liverpool beating Bournemouth away, apparently, which is interesting. But then the table bonus odds are only 12, 13%. Pardon me. And if you want to go for a table bonus team, you really want those kind of odds. That's quite a good table bonus fixture there. Brighton versus Nottingham Forest, apparently, if it's 33% odds, 9.5 points, predicted points. So they're not great fixtures. What might we get here? Liverpool versus Leicester away is going to be great odds. And then Tottenham at home. It's tricky odds for the second one as well. But at least Leicester away would be good. There may be other doubles. It's hard to know who's going to be a table bonus fixture by that point. So it's not bad fixtures though. And then game week 25, you got Liverpool versus Wolves, very good safe fixture. And as for for table bonus, you got Fulham versus Nottingham Forest, which I think is very likely to be a table bonus fixture for Fulham. They've got 45% odds to win, which is really high. That'll give you an EV of 11.97, which is very, very high too. Now, obviously, there's a risk. 45% win rate is less than 50-50, is a risk. But that's what is that? 60, 70, over 70% odds of a win or a draw. So that's a really good fixture. I mean, I don't know whether my instincts feel the same about that. But maybe at least a draw. So that's a good fixture for them. And there's still this small chance of them getting a double with Tottenham as well. It's still possible. We'll find out more in the next couple of days if Tottenham qualify for the top 8. So that's a good fixture. And then the last one, you can play it safe on Arsenal. That's pretty good fixture, just Arteta against West Ham. And as for table bonus, there's some very good ones. I mean, some of these, you got Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. could be a table bonus fixture, but it's unlikely. Some of these here, Man City, Liverpool, could be a table bonus fixture. These are just my own arbitrary chances. This is just what I've just manually approximated. But if any one of these become a table bonus fixture, some of these are quite juicy. Man City, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest, Everton, Man United. They're not bad. And in worst case scenario, if you want to go for a table bonus, you've got Leicester versus Brentford, which is pretty likely to be a table bonus fixture. That'll get you 8.46, not bad. Or you just go safe with Arsenal versus West Ham. So, yeah, it's not bad, but I still fancy there's going to be better fixtures later. So I think I'm going to triple captain Salah, basically. I think I'm going to triple captain Salah. I think, who knows, they do look like tough fixtures, but then Everton is still Everton. You would expect Liverpool to do well there. And Bournemouth, it could be a goal fest for all we know. They're both attacking teams. Could be a goal fest. Yeah, at the moment I'm triple captain. I don't want to overthink it too much. And then the assistant manager, yeah, I'm probably just going to use that later on for now. But if anybody was using it, if you want to go safe, just go Slot for the first two, then Arteta. And if you want to go table bonus, go Moyes, then Fulham, and then take your choice with one of these. You might get lucky with one of these. Yep. So that's that. Then transfer moves, and using my transfers. One of the reasons why I thought I may have gone too soon with Sarr and Bomo was because if I'd just bench Sarr for this game week, I could have done Gordon to Mbomo, but then I'm starting to think that maybe was a good move to keep Gordon. But I could have done Gordon to Mbomo, and then I could have done Lewis to a Everton defender. I would have had a little bit more money. I could have done Lewis to an Everton defender, got an extra doubler, and I would have had an extra fixture, a better fixture in 29 because Everton play West Ham. Could have done Sarr to a Bournemouth midfielder next game week, and I would have had more money. It just would have been better. But I've done it now, and I'm just trying to make the best of it. And I still think maybe keeping Gordon might be a good thing. So, yeah, I've done Sarr and Bomo. So it's these two chaps up front. And I just don't love selling Lewis to O'Shea. Like, it's something about, it's very easy to sell your fodder to get a new, better defender. But selling a defender down to a fodder just to free up funds, especially in a short period like this where I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I don't love that, but I may have to do that. And then it's Witter and Gakpo. So I guess one thing I'm talking a bit ranty here, but another thing I'm thinking is that I'm starting to lean more towards I'm expecting 33 to be the bigger bench boost now. I'm starting to think it, which means if 33 is likely to be the bigger double, then wildcard 30 might be the move, and 29 is you probably better to dead end into it. But I've also been looking at these fixtures the other side of 29, and a lot of these fixtures, the best fixtures the other side of 29 are like Liverpool, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, maybe Man City. These are the teams that are most likely to double in 33. They've also got really good fixtures the other side of 30. If I look at this, what was I looking at? So let's have a look at the forwards from 30 to 33. And you got Liverpool, Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa, Palace, Man City. They've got really good fixtures. All of these teams have very good fixtures, and these are the teams that you're going to be getting rid of for 29. If you're not going to free hit in 29, you're going to be getting rid of them, and you're going to want them back again. So, trying to figure that one out. It doesn't fall nicely. And I'm starting to think that this is going to be the most likely double, though, in 33. Because you've got this. Why did I think that? I think it's because you've got this pressure. I think it all depends on Tottenham and Man United, and if they get to the quarterfinals of the Europa, and because they're considered the favourites at the moment, even though I don't consider them favourites, but I guess the bookies know more than me. So if they're favourites, then there's a good chance they're going to get to the quarterfinals. And if they get to the quarterfinals, I think there's gonna be a pressure to push a lot more fixtures into 33. So it's not just Liverpool. It would also be Man City. So Man City are playing Aston Villa here. So if that was to become a blank in 34, and remember Tottenham and Villa play each other in the FA Cup here. So one of them's definitely going out, one of them's definitely staying in. But these two fixtures here, Liverpool versus Tottenham and Man City versus Aston Villa, are very likely to be blanks. So if Man City and Villa is a blank there, and it only needs one of them to get to the semi-final, then it can't go in 36 if Tottenham are still in the Europa quarterfinals, because they're going to have to leave that potentially for Tottenham and Aston Villa to go there. Unless Tottenham and Aston Villa are both out. If it's Man City that get to the semi-final there, and Tottenham and Villa are both out, is that right? I think so. Yeah, because that wouldn't need to be moved there. So yeah, I could easily be making mistakes here, but I'm just. But I think so. If one of Tottenham and Aston Villa are still in the FA Cup semi-final, which I guess is kind of unlikely, you're expecting Man City or Liverpool to get there. But anyway, the point is though that Tottenham and Aston Villa would have to go there, and therefore Man City and Aston Villa would have to be brought here to 33. I think, unless they want to do it in 37 again. Tricky. But I just feel like there's a bit of pressure from these Europa League teams to maybe advance some of these fixtures in 34 to 33, rather than put them in 36. Feels like that, maybe, is my guess. Yeah, and you've obviously got all these four that are going to be going in there as well. Because it's Chelsea as well. If Chelsea happen to get a blank or a double, or Chelsea and Everton, they've got a couple of chances. You've got Man United here playing Chelsea, and another little bit of pressure might just mean it has to come into 33 instead. So that could be the double. And if it is, do I wildcard there? You would think you'd dead end and then wildcard there. Which sounds fine. But my two problems with that are, firstly, I'm just wondering about team value, selling players, then buying them back again, and losing value for a bench boost. I don't love. I feel like I need to do the maths on that. I need to really look into it. Not sure I love that. And then the second thing as well is there's still you're going to need loads of transfers. If you wildcard 30, bench boost 33, you're going to need probably one or two here to make sure to cover for injuries, make sure your bench boost 33 is perfect. You might want to keep Cole Palmer up until the last minute and then sell him or something like that. And then you're going to have to need a lot of transfers to flip-flop from 33 to 36, because there might be different doublers in 36. You can free hit there in 34. And then you're also going to want to use your assistant manager here as well. So you're probably going to want transfers for that too. So really, if you're going to wildcard in 30, you need to have at least 3 or 4 transfers and the wildcard when you're heading into this period. But you've got game week 28, 29 you're trying to dead end into, and all this stuff here as well. Game week 24 doubles you're trying to navigate. So there's something about that doesn't feel ideal. Whereas if you go the other option and you free hit in 29, you just lock 29 off, so you forget about it. So you keep all these players. I could just start doing this, build up some players, build up Newcastle, Liverpool, Palace, Aston Villa maybe, Man City, possibly start thinking about bringing Foden in and stuff like this when their fixtures change. Run hot all the way there. I guess if I'm free hitting in 29, it means that I'm planning to build towards a bench boost rather than wildcarding into a bench boost. That would be the plan. And then it also means I'm going to have to do something crazy there on 34 where I'm just, well, what I'd be doing, I'd be running hot, free hit 29, running hot all the way here, bench boosting there, then using 5 free transfers probably here, or using a lot of transfers 34. So that'd be like a mini free hit. So I don't need a free hit. I'll just use 5 transfers and my 3 bench. that would be the way I'd do it. And then I'd wildcard 35 and then assistant manager here. Is that the idea? And you don't really need that many transfers here. You only need one for each assistant manager. Yeah, just there's something about that feels nice. Something about that feels nice to me. So I've got to figure that one out. Free hit 29. Bench boost 33. Use your free hits. Use your transfers to just do a mini free hit in 34. Wildcard 35. Assistant manager. I love the idea of having an assistant manager in 36. Yeah, I'm wondering whether I should just pick a lane. Like, just pick a lane, look at the one that I think is the most likely and just go for it. And if it backfires, yeah, I could probably still change lanes later on. But what was I thinking that in relation to as well? Pick a lane. Yeah, because people like Raul Jimenez. There's a part of me that's thinking, well, should I keep Raul Jimenez for just on the off chance that he gets a double game week in 25? But then I kind of think, well, the odds of it happening are low, so I should probably just bet against it. So I should just sell him now. If I didn't have to sell him and I could be flexible for one more game week, it might be worth hanging on to him. Maybe at least until the end of the deadline, just in case we get an announcement that there's going to be a provisional announcement of a double game week 25. But I think I might just. I feel like I need to just pick a lane, look at the odds, just sell him and just go for it. And maybe I need to do the same with my chip strategy and just say I'm just going to free hit 29. Because if I'm going to free hit 29, then I probably will bring Gakpo in, and I might not bring Witter in, unless I want to. Well, I don't know. We'll see. Unless I want to just do a short-term hit and take a. Maybe I will, because I won't need transfers. I won't need quite as many transfers. I can move them on to like Cunha here or something like that. That could be nice. Yeah, but yeah, basically, if I knew that I was definitely free hitting 29, that was my strategy, and I just committed to it. I would make different moves, I think, and it would just, because at the moment I'm always 50-50 between everything, and I'm thinking, well, I'm trying to stay flexible and at the same time make the most of the fixtures now. And using all 4 transfers as well feels a bit dodge, but maybe my mind would be different if I knew what strategy I was doing. So that's a lot of waffle. I thought this video might be a waffly one again. It's very tricky to figure out. Very tricky to figure out what to do. Pardon me. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at. 4 free transfers. 3rd Liverpool, maybe Wissa. Yeah, I need to figure that out. Selling Wood doesn't feel too bad, because even though I've got a lot of value in him, he's gone up $1 million, so I've got $500,000 in him. But his fixtures are not great. I mean, Brighton's nice, but then Fulham, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City. He's got pretty good fixtures the other side. Ipswich is nice in 29. Although if I'm free hitting, I could just get him back for that one. But then he's very unlikely to double in 33, because he's got no blank in 29, and he's playing Nottingham Forest are playing Brentford in 34, and Brentford are already out of the FA Cup. So it's totally dependent on Nottingham Forest getting to the semi-final of the FA Cup for that to be a blank. And then even then, there's no guarantee it's going to go. There's no pressure to put it in 33, so it could just go in 36 anyway. So he's very unlikely to get double, and I think I'm unlikely to want him back. So I think Wood might be okay to sell. Sells, I think I've made my bed with. I'm just going to keep him. He's just cheap keeper. I don't really care. I don't think I'm going to get rid of him. I might, but probably not. Whereas Gordon, if you just ride out these few fixtures, I'm going to want him back again. And if I'm free hitting in 29, I'm really going to want him back again. He's definitely going to have a double there. Nice fixtures either side. It feels a little bit like when I sold him Bomo. Gordon's just such a kind of solid 90-minute man, kind of reliable pick. Yeah, so I'd like to keep Gordon if I can. things like that start to change. And Gakpo, yeah, I like Gakpo again. Like Liverpool, double game week here, Wolves there, Southampton here, free hit there, Everton, Fulham, West Ham. Same with Trent, double. Good fixtures either side. Feels nice, man. And then there's Bournemouth I want to start thinking about as well. Bournemouth have got like lovely fixtures starting from 25 all the way to the double. Good chance they could have a double in 33. Not as high because they've got no blank in 29. And it would be dependent on Man United in 34. I think the only reason it would be brought forward to 33 is if Man United are still in the Europa League and they have to leave Chelsea Man United free in here. Chelsea Man United there, so they'd have to kind of leave that slot for Chelsea Man United there, which means Man United Bournemouth would have to go there 33. So there's a small chance of a double for Bournemouth there, but still they've got such nice fixtures. Cheap as well. I'd like to bring maybe Dango. I could do Rodgers to Dango, possibly. Howson as well. So, yeah, waffly video. Conclusion, I think you really need to get your chip strategy right. And I'm tempted to just take a pick and just pick a lane. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop it there because I'm waffling and running out of thoughts. Okay, I'll leave it there. Thanks for listening. See you later. Bye-bye.